I watched this week's TNA Impact, and it was pretty good. They had some good parts, some parts I just wandered off, and um, I like the heel turn of Mickie James. Mickie James plays a better crazy person than she does a straight person anyway. Although I don't understand the logic of it, seeing how she just launched her, country album and she's trying to make a country career. But I think, most educated, semi-educated wrestling fans realize that she's doing a role in TNA and her music career should have nothing to do with that. But, I'm thinking about how when Hulk Hogan turned heel, the effect that it had on the populace and how he became hated by the fans of wrestling that truly believe that wrestling is real. There was a lot of other interesting things going on. The Bully Ray Jeff Hardy match, the matches had a lot of funny moments in it, a lot of good spots in it. Like when Bully got hit between the legs, was hilarious his reaction to it. Obviously Jeff hurt his hip or something after the match. I mean, he was grabbing onto it and stuff like that. The ending was kind of interesting, especially with Brooke coming out and yelling at Hogan not to do anything against Bully. There's a heel turn coming for Brooke. Everybody can see it. The tag champs had a good. The match was really good with them and everybody else involved in that. Hernandez beating Chavo was pretty good. Don't know where they're going to go with the who's going to get the next shot at the title as far as the Bound for Glory series. The like I said, the women's wrestling is looking a little better. Their women's wrestling is just far more superior than the Divas division in the WWE. Period. I like the Joseph Parks thing. Here's the thing. I don't know what direction they're going to try to go with the Joseph Parks Abyss storyline because it's kind of weird. Two things. I don't want them to show Abyss and Joseph in the same room because that will, I want it to be like a multiple personality type deal like Mick Foley had with, Cactus Jack, Mankind, Dude Love, and Mick Foley. I want to see a Joseph Parks and Abyss multiple personality thing. Whenever he sees his blood, that's when he becomes the Abyss and he destroys and demolishes everybody. They said they did have plans for somebody else to dress up as Abyss and come out during the Joseph Parks match. I thought that was a possibility when Abyss's music came on and he jumped in the ring. I thought for sure it was going to be Abyss coming out or somebody dressed up like Abyss and Joseph Parks, getting up. That's a way to create the credibility that they're two different people. But we all know that they're both the same exact person. I would like to see it still be the exact same person. It's just whenever he gets injured or he gets bloodied up, whatever, it kicks in and he becomes the Abyss and he goes after. Honestly, they could do it to where he single-handedly whoops the crap out of Aces and Eights. He gets busted open by Devon and then he just takes it to him. I don't see it happening. I don't know exactly where the Aces and Eights storyline is going to go. And not that I really care. Bully Ray is really, really coming to his own as a heel in the Aces and Eights storyline. He's doing really good. And, what kind of shocks me is the fact that there's a lot of chances to keep showing that the Aces and Eights are a cohesive unit and have them come out and interfere in all their matches. See, that's the thing that helps the Shield over in the WWE is the fact that they are a cohesive unit and they're out for the unit and not the individuals. They'll eventually break the Shield up. You know it, I know it. Very rarely do groups last long periods of time. Team Hell No is already going to be broken up because they're going to push, Daniel Bryan into the singles thing, and he's doing a really good job. And if they don't run with Daniel Bryan being the top of the company, they are screwing up. This is what I would do over in WWE as far as the Daniel Bryan story. Have Ryback win the pay-per-view and get the belt. Having hurt, notice my little quotations marks, hurt John Cena enough where John Cena will go out for a while. John Cena needs to recharge his batteries, plain and simple. He needs to step back, take a break like CM Punk has. Have Ryback do that. Then have Daniel Bryan come after Ryback and take the belt from him and let Daniel Bryan be the top dog of the company for more than a couple of months. You know, let him be the top dog for at least a year. Let him run with it and build your program around him. And I was reading some other comments this week about the writing, and the 3-hour format is one of the problems. It's not one of the problems. I watched, when I watched Monday Night Raw this week, there was a lot of dead moments in it, like just moments that was boring, nothing was going on. The biggest draw on Monday night was Team Hell No and The Shield with Orton, and then Daniel Bryan at the end with Ryback. I thought those were the best two things on Monday Night Raw, period. The rest of it, the Divas, nobody cares. They can skip over the Divas altogether. Either rebuild the Divas or just quit it altogether. Make them valets, make them managers, do something else with them other than the Divas. Either that or let them wrestle in the ring and become good. Watch a knockouts match once in a while, and you will get an idea of what good wrestling looks like with women. Daniel Bryan does need to be pushed. And I don't know of anybody recently, in my mind, that's getting as big of a push and big amount of fanfare as he is. Over in TNA, Bully's really getting good heat. And I don't mean like, heat as far as, he's just getting really good heat from the audience. When he comes out there and speaks, everybody's booing him. That's a good sign. The problem with TNA is there's too much Hogan going on and not enough focusing on these other guys and these other matches and stuff like that. Get away from being too much Hogan. Hogan can pack a room and a house. We understand that. Hogan is a classic. If he's going to be a general manager, then he needs to be a general manager. They're doing what McMahon done when he was general manager, or some of the other, like Johnny Laurinaitis and some of the other ones that he appointed general manager over there, to where not only are they general manager, they're involving themselves in about every match so that they can, I guess, feed their ego. We need to stop that. If TNA wants to go to that next level from where they're at, they're going to have to get rid of the Hogans. They're going to have to get rid of depending on all the old talent to pack the house. The main event needs to be these young guys. I don't know whether they've ever listened to any of Paul Heyman's interviews, but they need to stop. Whatever they're doing, the writers over in TNA, everybody over there needs to stop and go listen to what Paul Heyman has said about that. Or they need to do something to get Paul Heyman over there, pay him money to do some of the booking, not give him free reign of the paycheck, but give him the opportunity to build your brand. Do that. Oh my God, I said it in my last rant to TNA. You need to figure out a plan of where you're going in the future. Aces and Eights is one of the most, I don't know why it's one of the most hated storylines. I don't mind Aces and Eights. I like a good group. NWO, Four Horsemen. There's a lot of really great groups out there in wrestling. Aces and Eights, I think part of the problem with Aces and Eights is Taz. I think Taz, he plays the Aces and Eights things, and then he turns right around and does something that's like straight-laced announcing, and then he jumps back into Aces and Eights. It's the same problem I have with Michael Cole over in WWE. They bounce back and forth with their character. There's not a consistency. When Michael Cole is on his game and he is doing the job as the announcer instead of just typing the WWE app, which is what he's doing at this very moment, he's a good color commentator. Taz is a great color commentator. He's been in the business for years. He knows what he's talking about. However, whenever he bounces from being good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy, either let him be a good guy or let him be a bad guy. Not both. It's confusing and it sounds awful. TNA, you're getting a little better. I like it. I think Rampage Jackson is a good pickup. I know there's a lot of people that's complaining about it, but I don't have a problem with it because I see where they're going. They're actually going to do something a little bit more intelligent than what WWE does. They're going to try to get the MMA crowd into it and wrestling into it too. If they can do it and do it right, they hit a gold mine with Rampage Jackson. If they can't do it right, then they're going to have a big problem on their hands. Because how do you build a company around legitimate fighting? Then after so far into it, it goes back to just, Hulk Hogan. Goes from TNA or from MMA to Hulk Hogan. Not the same thing, not the same audiences, not the same crowds. However, you can get some of that crossover crowd if you build a good fight. Angle, Rampage Jackson, that's a good fight. But what do you do after Angle and Rampage goes at it? That's your problem. Longevity is something that you have to think about. Long term, not short term. You might have the little battles here or there short term, but long term you have no choice but to build a brand that people are going to tune in weekly to say, hey, I want to see this, I want to see this. Pre-taping your shows isn't very good for your brand. I'm sorry, but it's a fact. Why would I go watch your show every week unless there's something amazing going to happen on your show when I can go on to the eWrestling News, some of these other websites, and find out exactly what happened and get all the feedback I need for it? Fix your business, and one day, if you do it right soon, you and WWE will be a lot closer, and you'll close that gap, and you'll start making a lot more money as long as you learn to brand your product better than what you are right now. It's getting a little better, and I'm starting to enjoy TNA more than WWE. But fix your problems.